David lost a dare, forced me to change swimsuits publicly. I refused. David's face fell. He slammed the glass down. Everyone else is wearing one, why can't you? Sarah, you're being uptight. There's a time and place for that. He always treated me like a plaything. I left resolutely and deleted all his contact information. A few days later, my phone vibrated again. It was an unknown number. I quickly answered. Hello? Sarah. David's voice came through the receiver. Can we not break up? What's wrong with me? I'll change, okay? But it was his roommate, Robert, who had answered. She said you're so small and disgusting. Maybe you should try growing some more? David lost a dare. Someone needled him. The underclassmen changed swimsuits. Why don't you let your girlfriend change too? Yeah, don't be so petty. Bark like a dog publicly, as a dare, or let your girlfriend, used by friends, change swimsuits? Pick one. David laughed, cursing. Are you animals? After cursing, he glanced at me. Go change. Sarah, you don't want to see me bark like a dog publicly, as a dare, do you? No. I instantly tensed up. David knew. My body had always been something I was a little self-conscious about. I had some baby fat, a bit chubby. Especially my legs. I don't want to change. Everyone was looking at me. Seriously? You won't even change into a swimsuit? Why come to a pool party? Don't be a buzzkill. David, didn't you always say your girlfriend was super obedient? Is this it? David's face fell. He slammed the glass down. Everyone else is wearing one, why can't you? Sarah, you're being uptight. There's a time and place for that. I bit my lip hard. People nearby were talking about me. Unable to withstand the pressure, I finally relented. Okay. Okay, what? A casual tone sounded from behind. He's not being uptight. Why don't you go change into a bikini? It was Robert speaking. David's roommate. A wreck. Less rich kid/trust fund kid. I didn't interact with him much and had always been a bit intimidated by him. Robert kicked over the table. Cards and dice scattered everywhere. This is my party, and you're playing such messed up games? You all love seeing swimsuits, huh? There are dozens of new ones over there. Why don't you guys change and let us see? Seeing Robert lose his temper. Everyone quieted down, nobody dared to push their luck. Yeah, let's not get carried away. This is Robert's birthday party, not a sleazy party. Let's keep it clean. This round, dice drinking games. Play nicely. Someone glared at me and muttered, such a killjoy. Making a big deal out of changing a swimsuit. Would she die if she let her show some skin? Laughing my head off. Stick with that blob of flesh forever. The faint voices felt like thorns, making me squirm. I instinctively looked at David, but all I saw was disgust. That's just how she is. Ignore her, let's keep playing. Next round. His underclassman, Jessica, lost and was being pressured to drink. But David snatched the glass. I'm still here, how dare you bully my underclassman? I'll drink for her. As he shielded her behind him, I turned and walked out. Someone behind me nudged David, your girlfriend left. Go after her. Go after her for what? David said lazily, she's stubborn/hard-headed. No need to coax her. She'll be fine in 2 days. That night, I broke up with David. I had liked David since high school. I was soft-spoken/gentle, introverted, and due to family reasons, I had a bit of a people-pleaser personality. In high school, I was bullied for 2 years, led by the mean girls in my class. They would slap me publicly. They would cut up my uniform in the girls' restroom. When I walked past, they would hold their noses and shout, "Ugh, what's that smell?" in the hallway. I tried to resist, but it only got worse. I reported it to teachers. I also told my family. But my OM would always frown. Why don't they bully others? You're in your teens, can't you find the problem within yourself? You've always had a stubborn/difficult personality since you were little. Can't you learn from your character name? Your character name is liked everywhere. Only David would stand up for me. In my desperate, dark high school years, David was the only hope. Half a minute after sending the message. David? Just because I asked you to wear a swimsuit today? Yes. The other side kept showing typing, but no message ever came. I thought this was his silent agreement. As I was about to delete him, my phone vibrated. David, come downstairs. Outside the window. David stood with his hands on his knees, having run all the way, panting heavily. I went downstairs anyway. Sarah. David sighed. I didn't know you cared about that so much. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have embarrassed you in front of so many people just for my ego. He looked at me cautiously. One more chance? The wind was strong tonight. I stood in the wind for a long time, silent. I decided to give David one last chance. Weekend. My older sister, Beth, sweet-talked me into going to a restaurant to go on a blind date for her. However, 10 minutes later, I avoided the guy's gaze, feeling completely on edge. Damn it. Beth didn't tell me her blind date was Robert. Robert tapped on the table casually, wearing a bracelet on his left wrist. The style looked familiar. Looking closely, it was the gift I had given him that day. Something cheap, bought at a small gift shop for a few bucks. But I had always heard that Robert was particular about what he ate and wore, and rarely liked anything. Song. Chow. Robert said each word slowly. He smiled. When did you change your name to Beth? Does David know you're on a blind date with me? Robert, who usually had a bad memory, actually remembered my name. After the shock, all I could do was RDLY beg him. I'm here on a blind date for my older sister. Can you not tell anyone about this? I'll pay you, okay? Robert smiled. How much? Remembering the 3,000 yuan Beth had transferred me as compensation, I cautiously asked, 80? Based on my years of bargaining experience, you start by quoting the lowest price and negotiate up from there. Robert paused, raising an eyebrow. Yuan? I froze too. What else? It couldn't be $200,000, could it? While I was hesitating whether to raise the price, Robert actually nodded. Okay. Deal. When I left, the sky was getting dark. A light rain began to fall. Robert opened his car. You won't be able to get a taxi at this time. Get in, I'll give you a ride back to the college/university. Thanks. I opened the back door. Robert clicked his tongue. Treating me like your driver? My hand trembled, and I quickly closed the door and got into the passenger seat. The car freshener smelled really good. While waiting at a red light, Robert suddenly asked me, why didn't you go on a date with David? He went home today. It's his grandpa's 80th birthday. I had even carefully chosen a gift. It cost me more than half a month's living expenses. Robert scoffed. His grandpa is pretty hip, celebrating his 80th birthday at a bar. What do you mean? Robert pulled out his phone, unlocked it, and handed it to me. Check his moments/timeline. I suddenly had a bad feeling. Sure enough. Opening the timeline, the first post was from David. Being a chaperone/knight in shining armor for a day/doge emoji, / a few attached pictures, all of a drunk Jessica. In fact, in 2 of the pictures, the background was vaguely visible as a hotel. The comment section was filled with David's roommates. Holy crap, David, you're amazing. Got her that fast? Girlfriend's obedient enough, side chick's wild enough. Damn, I'm tired of saying I'm jealous. David, Lee. V stream for the dorm room group chat? The last comment at the bottom. It was from Robert. Eating really messed up. I repeatedly looked at those few photos. Jessica's face was flushed, her eyes hazy. The camera captured the guy's hand. There was a familiar scar on his ring finger. An indescribable wave of nausea filled my chest. I forced myself to calm down and handed back the phone. Thanks. Before I could finish speaking, the bus in the oncoming lane swerved to avoid a scooter/e-bike and lost control, crashing towards us. Robert cursed. He sharply turned the wheel towards my side. Bang, a loud crash. The moment the bus hit, Robert reached out and shielded me. I only suffered minor scratches. But Robert was diagnosed with a concussion. Sitting by the hospital room bed, my mind kept replaying the terrifying scene from moments ago. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. Thank you. No biggie. Robert had a bandage wrapped around his head, looking a bit rough, but his face was still strikingly handsome. After all, you're my roommate's girlfriend. I couldn't just watch you get hurt. Not for long. Robert looked up. You're breaking up. Just then, someone opened the door and came in. Robert, I heard you were in a car accident. The voice stopped. It was David who came in. Behind him followed Jessica, her face still flushed. Seeing me, David's gaze flickered, then quickly settled, followed by a darkening of his expression. What are you doing here? David was best at turning the tables. Sarah Song, you got here even faster than me, his roommate. Didn't you say you were going to see your older sister? How did you end up here trying to butter up Robert? With just 2 sentences of questioning, David completely absolved himself. I didn't say anything. My gaze was fixed calmly on the mark below his collar. David noticed and nervously pulled at his collar, covering the hickey. Well, say something? I calmly looked at the guy who had occupied nearly 4 years of my youth. David, let's break up. He froze, frowned, but his tone softened. Are you misunderstanding something? My family knows Jessica's family. She went to my grandpa's birthday party today too. When she heard Robert was in an accident, she came with me to check on him. In the hospital bed, Robert, who had been silent, suddenly chuckled. Grandpa? Buddy, you told your girlfriend earlier it was your grandpa's big birthday. David's eyelid twitched. Misspoke, it was my grandpa's birthday. Sarah, I'll explain later when we go back. I looked up at him. Actually, there's something I want to explain to you too. Come here. David obediently leaned closer. Slap, the force was so great it made my palm numb. Looking at David's face, so close to mine, with a slap mark on it, I said softly, we're breaking up. Robert was hospitalized with a concussion. Nobody was keeping company. On WeChat, he asked, my aunt is on maternity leave. I'm dizzy, would you be able to keep company? Paid. 20. He made me laugh. Sure. Keep the money. $20. The young master, rumored to be wildly extravagant, was even stingier than me. And just like that, I became Robert's personal companion. Sarah Song. Robert leaned back against the headboard, lifting his eyes to look at me. I need to go to the restroom. He looked completely innocent, like he was messing around. Dizzy. I could only get up and help him. Robert's hospital gown sleeves were rolled up a few times, and I held onto his arm. Skin touching skin. The touch was firm and warm. Afraid he might get dizzy, I waited by the restroom door. Sarah Song. Robert called me again. Go back. What's wrong? Go back, he gritted out. You're standing at the door. I can't pee. I wanted to laugh a little, but I listened and went back to the hospital bed. My phone suddenly vibrated. It was Avid again. I had blocked him on WeChat, so he was using roommates' phones to text me repeatedly. Sarah, I know you were just trying to make me angry that day. I'd believe it if you went with someone else, but Robert? How could he possibly? Think about it from my perspective. I embarrassed you in front of your friends, aren't you angry? Stop messing around. If you don't like Jessica, I'll block her. I annoyedly blocked this number too. I don't know why. Hearing him bring up that day, the only thing that flashed in my mind was Robert's face. He was wearing a hospital gown, casually undermining David. So effortlessly. Making David, who was spouting lame excuses, look like a clown by comparison. What are you thinking about? My ear suddenly felt warm. Robert leaned closer, his gaze falling on my screen. He's harassing you again? If you don't want him to harass you, you can use me as a shield. Robert tilted his head to look at me. His expression was unusually serious. Sarah Song, you can say I'm your boyfriend. Tell him to come harass me anytime. Even though I knew Robert was helping me out, my heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Okay. Good news. Robert was discharged. Bad news, Robert was discharged. I didn't need to be his personal companion anymore, which meant I didn't have a reason to see him. I didn't go the day he was discharged, but I received a transfer in my bank account. I guessed it was Robert, but I was also a little dumbfounded. Couldn't he have just sent me $20 on WeChat? However, opening the message, I was completely stunned. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 20,000? My phone vibrated twice. Robert, got the transfer? Another message was from my older sister, Beth. Sarah, I told you to just go through the motions and reject him, didn't I? Why did Mr. Hu tell his family he was quite satisfied with me? Robert was quite satisfied? With me? My parents are pushing FO. Are us to meet again? Please, Sarah, can you help me out one more time? Before I could reply, another 10,000 yuan arrived. One thing led to another, and my bank account, that of a broke college girl, suddenly had over $200,000. It felt like a dream. I quickly typed, okay/alright. But even I couldn't tell if I was excited about the 10,000 payment or because I had another reason to see Robert. Robert was wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt today, and I was wearing a cotton or linen dress/maxi dress. Passing by a glass window, our reflections actually looked kind of matching. My gaze felt burned, and I quickly pulled it back. In the restaurant, Robert handed me the menu. Order anything you want. No need, I pushed it back. You order. It's embarrassing to admit, I had never even ordered food in a restaurant before. My dad was extremely patriarchal, and my mom favored boys. Every time we ate out, they would always order what my dad and character name loved. I had no say. I only remember one time, the menu landed in my hands. It was probably junior high. I cautiously, thoughtfully, ordered a common dish, braised pork. But it earned me ridicule from the relatives at the table. Sarah, who orders braised pork at a restaurant now? We all eat king crab. Besides, you should be losing weight. Why are you still thinking about eating meat? Soon after, my mom snatched the menu away. She apologized with a forced smile, lecturing me, this girl has no opinions, just embarrassing me. We'll order, don't mind her. Snapping back to reality, Robert still placed the menu in front of me. Go ahead and order. Pick what you want to eat. Unable to refuse, I took the menu. I ordered a few dishes I wanted to eat. After thinking for a moment, I added candied walnuts, pointing at Robert's head. Good for the brain. He had a concussion, after all. Gotta take care of him. After dinner, at the request of both sets of parents, Robert took me shopping at the shopping mall. Robert and I walked side by side. Standing a little closer, I could smell the nice woody cologne/scent on him and a faint hint of alcohol in his breath. During dinner, Robert had opened a bottle of red wine. He also brought up David. Robert showed me a video clip. In the dorm room, a few guys were lying on their beds discussing. David, your simp girlfriend broke up with you? Can she really bear to? Just a little game/trick girls play. Playing hard to get. Listen up, guys. The louder a girl screams about breaking up, the more she's giving in. She's practically screaming come coax me through a megaphone. Just send a couple of messages to symbolically try to get her back, then let her cool off for a few days. She'll lose patience and come crawling back. David sat on the edge of the bed, lazily crossing his legs. Watch. In 3 days, she'll definitely come back crying and begging me. Learned something. Damn. David, you're amazing. You should start a simp training class. We'll all kneel and listen. After the video played, Honestly, this time I didn't feel much. Why did you show me? Having had a bit to drink, I dared to look Robert in the eye. Robert asked in return, guess why? Afraid I'll be tricked by a jerk like that because I'm a love addict? He chuckled. I'm not that kind. Watching him laugh, the little courage I had gathered completely dissipated. I turned away, saying very quietly, oh, I thought maybe you liked me? Huh? Robert didn't seem to hear clearly. I walked stiffly forward, my face burning, not daring to repeat it at all. However, after walking a few meters, I heard Robert next to me let out a laugh. That's also possible. It turns out when you're nervous, your mind really does go blank. I didn't even know when I followed Robert into a store. Coming back to my senses, he had already put 2 dresses in my arms. Wide suit you. If you don't hate them, you can try them on. However, stepping into the fitting room, I realized these 2 dresses were completely different from my usual style. It was a style I had always loved but never dared to try. I tried them on with little confidence. Before I could pull up the zipper, my phone suddenly vibrated. I picked it up casually. It was a message from my roommate, Emily. Sarah, there's a video I've been hesitant about, but I feel like I should send it to you. I saw it on my boyfriend's WeChat. You should probably be mentally prepared. Then, she sent a video. It was long. Before I even opened it, the thumbnail was very explicit. The moment I opened it, the full impact hit me through the screen, stinging my eyes. Even though I was prepared, I couldn't help but gasp. Outside the fitting room, Robert seemed to be asking me, Sarah Song, are you okay? I stared intensely at the screen. Shock, revulsion, nausea. A myriad of emotions flooded me. Robert didn't get a response from me outside and opened the door. When he came in, I was sobbing uncontrollably. He didn't even blur it out, it's so small and disgusting. And he made her. Ugh. It turns out when someone is disgusted to the extreme, they really do cry. Glancing at the screen, Robert smiled. So, you're crying just because you're disgusted? I nodded vigorously, forgetting that we were alone in the cramped fitting room. Robert, are all you guys so disgusting? Guess? Robert's gaze swept over the screen again, his tone mocking. Your ex might be underdeveloped. What about you? Maybe I was really drunk. My mouth was faster than my brain. My thoughts were still a mess, but the words had already tumbled out. Robert raised an eyebrow. Me? His gaze swept over me, and his breathing seemed to deepen slightly. I don't just look good, I also deliver. Looks good, and delivers? My thoughts, dulled by alcohol, slowly caught up. My face instantly flushed. You. I raised my hand, and the strap slipped down. Only then did I realize the zipper on the back of the dress wasn't pulled up. I gasped instinctively, but Robert covered my mouth. Don't scream, sweetheart. Just us in the fitting room. If people come, I can't explain. I nodded. My breathing returned to normal. The zipper, he pointed at my back. Want me to help? Thanks. His long fingers gripped the zipper, pulling it up smoothly. He didn't touch me at all, but my body was rigid. In the narrow, cramped fitting room, the temperature seemed to rise. Just then, my phone vibrated again. It was an unknown number. My face flushed. I quickly answered. Hello. Sarah. David's voice came through the receiver. Where are you? I've been drinking, feeling a little rough. Can you come pick me up? The surge of emotion I had felt moments ago was extinguished by David's words. Disgusting. We've already broken up. If you're in trouble, call the police. Don't bother me. Who said we broke up? David really sounded drunk, slurring words heavily while drunk. As long as I don't agree, you're still my girlfriend. Robert stepped closer. He leaned in. Tell him you have a boyfriend. My heart pounded fiercely. I still obediently followed his lead. David, stop harassing me. I have a boyfriend. David paused for 2 seconds, then suddenly laughed. You? A boyfriend? Sarah's song, besides me, who else could stand you? Robert snatched the phone. I can. David instantly fell silent. 1 second. 2 seconds. The call was cut off. Immediately after, Robert's phone rang. It was a video call from David. Watching Robert answer, I was a little nervous. More than that, there was an indescribable, subtle excitement. The video showed our faces, mine and Robert's. In the cramped space, he leaned towards me, practically pinning me against the wall. Robert raised an eyebrow. See? David's face was incredibly ugly. Sarah's song, you've messed around enough for a couple of days, don't go too far. You and Robert? You think I'd believe that? I advise you to stop while you're ahead. You're going too far, you won't be able to backtrack. Even now, David still thought I was trying to make him jealous. My affection for him had given him this confidence, making him feel secure, certain I wouldn't leave him. David was still talking, but I stood on my tiptoes, grabbed Robert's collar, and impulsively kissed him. This guy was stubborn/hard-headed, but his lips were incredibly soft. Very easy to kiss. So much so that I kissed and nipped at his lips, forgetting my original intention to anger David. Until David's curse came through the video. Shit, are you guys serious? Robert, I thought you were my brother, and you're sleeping with a brother's girlfriend, implying cuckolding? Where are you? So loud. I frowned. Robert ended the call. The next second, as I gradually sobered up and felt a bit of hesitation, Robert's hand landed on the back of my head, pulling me into his arms. Turning the tables. In the cramped fitting room, our breaths mingled, giving rise to boundless ambiguity and desire. Not until my legs felt like jelly and I could barely breathe did Robert let go of me. He smiled. Can't breathe while kissing? Just practice a few more times. I heard. Robert and David got into a fight. Over by the basketball court. By the time I heard the news and rushed over, they had already been pulled apart. Robert didn't seem to have any injuries, but David had a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth, and his face was still full of anger. Someone yelled, Sarah's song's here. Everyone looked at me. David looked at me. Sarah, you came. He seemed very certain that I would be worried about him getting into a fight, getting hurt. I'm fine, he touched the corner of his mouth with his hand, this little injury is not. Hing. Not far away. Robert was also looking at me. His gaze swept over David, who was standing in front of me, and finally settled on me. His expression was unreadable. David reached for my hand. Stop being stubborn, but he missed. I walked around him and went straight to Robert. You just recovered from a concussion, what are you doing fighting? I pulled at his sleeve, looking him over, and then finally relaxed. You're not hurt, are you? No. Robert's tone was flat, but the corner of his mouth couldn't help but curve up. He childishly, provocatively glanced at David. The face opposite instantly darkened. Is this funny? David walked closer. He was someone with strong pride/ego, and now, due to the humiliation, his back was stiff. Robert, you've never been short on girlfriends. Of all people, why mess with my girlfriend? Don't think I don't know what you're up to. He let out a cold laugh and looked at me. You think Robert actually likes you? Don't be naive. You're just a way for him to get back at me/revenge. He was chasing Jessica recently and didn't get her. He found out I hooked up with Jessica and just couldn't stand it. You really think he'd fall for a girl like you? My hands and feet turned cold. I didn't know if what David said was true or false, but regardless of truth, his mocking words made me incredibly uncomfortable. In a daze, it felt like I was back in high school again, surrounded by so many people like this, some ridiculing me, more just gathered around watching the scene. Suddenly, Robert took my hand. His warm palm enveloped mine, gently stroking it. He wanted to speak, but I interrupted him. David, even though I was surrounded by many people watching the scene, I tried my best to remain calm, looking at David calmly, and calmly telling him, whether Robert likes me or not is between me and him. But between us, I don't like you anymore. You refuse to believe we broke up because you can't face the reality, can you? You can't believe I don't like you anymore. You can't believe you got dumped. The truth is, we're over. I, Sarah Song, don't like you anymore. If you have any pride left, stop bothering me. Also, you look pathetic refusing to accept being dumped. David's face was pale. He looked at me, wanting to say something, opened his mouth, but not a single word came out. When I planned to leave with Robert, he put his arm around me and slowly added a couple more jabs at David. Also, to clear things up, Jessica chased me and got rejected. I wasn't chasing her. Having a girlfriend and still sleeping around, and then recording videos behind her back to show off, and now saying it publicly. Tisk. Even the stray dogs behind the college/university are less promiscuous than you. Robert held my hand, fingers intertwined with mine. Bother my girlfriend again, and I'll kill you. Walking out of the campus entrance, holding Robert's hand. My face flushed a little, and I let go of his hand. Thanks. Thanks for helping me out, and about the video yesterday, I kissed you to make David angry. Afraid Robert would think I was using it to cling to him, I explained cautiously. The person next to me's expression darkened. So? Sarah Song, you kissed me and now you're not taking responsibility? Just as we passed the alley, he pulled me into the alley and pinned me against the wall. His actions were angry, but he still carefully protected me, afraid I'd get hurt. Did you just kiss me for nothing yesterday? We were so close. So close that if I looked up, I could kiss him. Memories from yesterday flooded my mind uncontrollably. I licked my lips. So, what do you want to do? In my line of sight. His Adam's apple bobbed. 2 choices. 1, let me kiss you back and be my girlfriend. My heart pounded violently. What's the second one? 2, be my girlfriend, and then kiss me. I couldn't help but Ugh. Is there a difference? Robert didn't answer me. His thumb brushed against my lips. He sighed. Forget it, I can't wait. Let's just assume you chose the first one by default. After saying that, Robert's kiss landed on my lips. Exploring, intertwining, utterly passionate. It was just a kiss. But the dark alley seemed to add a natural emotional boost. Robert held me close. I could feel some subtle changes. My face flushed. I realized Robert was right that day. He might, indeed, deliver. After the incident at the basketball court that day, the video of David and Jessica was somehow leaked and spread within the college/university. Rumors about them were rampant. So disgusting. Having a girlfriend and still sleeping around, they're a perfect pair of scumbags. Watched the video, the girl has a good figure, but the guy has a tiny one. Laughing my head off. How confident is this guy that he'd record this and gross people out? Big guy with a tiny one, makes you cringe just looking. David was used to being arrogant. I heard he's been hiding in his dorm room all day, not daring to go out. On the rare occasion he can't skip a class, he wears a mask and a hat. Jessica was also quiet for 2 days. 2 days later, facing the overwhelming public opinion, she actually spoke out directly. Jessica proactively contacted the campus gossip site/forum. Not anonymous, exposing a quickie guy. Things have been blowing up lately, so I'll explain. 1, yes, I slept with him. I'm sorry to his ex-girlfriend, and shameless, I apologize. 2, I honestly didn't even like him. Besides his face being okay, everything else was a low-tier model, small toy. I mainly hooked up with him because I didn't succeed in chasing his roommate, got drunk, and did it out of spite. Didn't get the guy I wanted, so I slept with his roommate instead. 3, maybe it's karma. After all that, the person I liked ended up with his ex-girlfriend. I deserve it. You can curse me if you want, I deserve it. But remember to include the quickie guy too. Neither of us is a good person, curse us both. The comment section instantly exploded. Seen plenty of jerk guys and trashy girls, but this is the first time I've seen one this blunt. So clear, I don't even know how to curse anymore. No matter what she says, they're both shameless. But gotta say, this girl is terrifyingly straightforward. Best part of the whole thing, low-tier model, small toy hahaha. Exactly. Neither of them is good. The guy is even more disgusting. Wasn't the video recorded by him? And showing it off publicly. Big guy with a tiny one, makes your eyes burn just looking. There's a backstreet bar behind the college/university. The prices are affordable, and the atmosphere is amazing. I heard their new berry liqueur/fruit wine is especially good. I dragged Robert over to try it. Midway, I went to the restroom, but I saw David sitting in the corner. He was with a guy. The bar was dimly lit, and I was wearing a hat, so the two of them didn't notice me. As I passed by, I happened to hear my name. So you and Sarah are just over? Dated for 3 years, didn't even get a piece of it, and it just went to Robert? How could that be? David downed a drink. Sarah is just being stubborn/hard-headed and soft-spoken/gentle. I hurt her badly, and she hasn't recovered yet. She's still just being difficult. The guy opposite shook his head. Being difficult? Doesn't look like it to me. You've been broken up for a month now, any big temper should have passed. David's hand on the glass stiffened. What do you know? His tone clearly rose. She's just being difficult. Don't I know her? But even he didn't sound sure of himself. David poured a drink and threw his head back to drink it. His eyes were bitter. You're just too confident. You always thought the girl would tolerate you forever, waiting for you. From what I see, Sarah and Robert seem to be doing great. I even saw them kissing in the alley that day. Shut up. David slammed the table. So much talk? Drink up. The guy opposite didn't say anything, but the look in his eyes when he looked at David was full of sympathy and mockery. Perhaps he drank too much, or perhaps he was stunned by his friend's gaze. David drank 2 more glasses and suddenly started crying. You have no idea how much Sarah loved me. She was bullied in high school, and only I would stand up for her. She used to rely on me so much. I said I wanted to go to this college/university, and she came here too, even though she scored over 30 points higher than the cutoff. I liked her too, you know? Her legs were thick, she had baby fat, and she loved being difficult/dramatic sometimes. Didn't I put up with all of it? Didn't I just hook up with an easy lay? Wasn't it because Sarah wouldn't give it to me? If she had, there wouldn't have been any Jessica involved, right? The guy opposite snorted. David's friend calmly asked in return. Dude, honestly, even if your ex had given it to you, wouldn't you have slept with Jessica anyway? What's the point of crying now? If you pull yourself together now, you might even be able to contribute to their wedding fund after graduation. David drank glass after glass. I felt nothing inside, just wanted to go back and drink with Robert. However, before I even got back to the table, I saw a girl sitting opposite Robert, in my original seat. The girl leaned softly against the table. Her hand reached towards Robert. My heart clenched. I instinctively held my breath. Where I stood was very hidden, and the bar was dimly lit, so Robert couldn't see me. But the next second, he raised his hand, dodging hers. The light swept across, briefly illuminating his eyes, revealing frustration and disgust. Just as Robert spoke, I saw his mouth shape, get out. The girl's shoulders were shaking, she seemed to be crying, she didn't pester him anymore. As she stood up, I saw her profile. It was Jessica. Jessica walked towards me. She seemed to be heading to the restroom. We ran into each other head-on. Sarah song. She looked at me, then turned back to glance at Robert. You saw everything? Yes. She was silent for a moment, lit a cigarette, and suddenly asked me, do you think I'm really trashy? She was so direct. I nodded. A little. Jessica laughed. I think so too. But I really, really like Robert. Every time I see him, I can't control myself, I want to steal him. Smoke lingered. I hate the smell of cigarettes, and I instinctively frowned. Jessica noticed and immediately put out the cigarette. But don't worry, Robert is serious about you. He used to just reject me, didn't like me, but now he really hates me. Because he thinks I hurt you. Jessica chuckled, her breath smelling strongly of alcohol. He probably wishes I would die. And David. Her gaze fell on David, who was crying in the corner behind me. No matter how much he begs you in the future, don't get back together. He's not worth it. He's not even worth a single hair on Robert's leg. While I fully agreed with that point, that phrasing was a bit crude. I didn't want to talk to Jessica anymore and turned to leave. Sarah's song, Jessica called out softly. I've been drinking. I ran into Robert just now and couldn't help but ask him again if he'd be with me. I told him I'd be with him even without a title. But he only said one word the whole time, get out. Don't misunderstand him. I didn't stop walking. Don't worry, he's not David. Nothing you do will affect us. The berry liqueur/fruit wine here was indeed good. I drank glass after glass. Robert couldn't stop me. Don't touch me. I grabbed the hand he used to stop me, finding it nice to look at. Long fingers, well-defined knuckles. Robert curled his lips, deliberately asking me, what are you looking at? This guy didn't say it out loud, but he was secretly pleased, waiting for me to praise his hands. But I was really drunk. After staring blankly for a long time, I could only manage one sentence. These pig feet/pork trotters aren't good, too thin, all tendons. Definitely chewy. Robert. Sarah's song. Is your head full of nothing but food? I looked up at him, smiling. Just kidding. Cupping his handsome face, I examined it from side to side. I kissed him on the mouth. This pig head meat looks really tender. In my ear was his gritted teeth voice, you called my hands pig feet/pork trotters, I tolerated that. Pig head meat? He gave my butt a not too light pinch. This is the goddamn buttocks. I was completely drunk. Robert took me back to his apartment off campus. I was too drunk to walk straight, but I still managed to wander around the apartment a couple of times. Checked it out. No sign of any girl. Robert leaned against the doorframe, smiling as he watched me investigate. Done checking? Little detective. He walked over and pulled me onto his lap, burying his face in my neck. You smell good. Are you still nursing? He tilted his head to look at me. Why do you smell like milk? His breath tickled my skin, making me, unable to resist, shrink my neck. It tickles. You think this tickles? He chuckled. There'll be things that tickle more later. I was so drunk, I didn't understand, and kept pestering him, asking what tickled, where it tickled. Robert couldn't handle it, gripping my unruly hands. His eyes darkened. Behave. No. I'm not some gentleman. Got it. You're a scoundrel. The alcohol was kicking in, and the air conditioning in the apartment was warm, so I couldn't help but start unbuttoning my dress. One button, two buttons. Before I could unbutton the third, my hand was held by Robert. Stop unbuttoning. His voice turned hoarse, and he cursed Sarah's song. You're testing me. You're drunk. Go to sleep first. We can talk when you're sober. I shook off his hand and continued unbuttoning. I'm perfectly sober, and I know how to kiss. Saying that, I copied how Robert had done it that day, pressing my palm to the back of his head, pulling him down. Then I kissed him. I awkwardly/inexperiencedly parted his lips, copying how he did it. My tongue randomly brushed against his. Robert's breathing instantly became ragged. Robert. When I could barely breathe, I let go and looked up at him. You said you looked good that day. I licked my lips. I want to see. Robert's body froze for a while. Shit. He cursed, unconsciously loosening his collar. Sarah's song, you're trying to kill me, aren't you? Robert looked helpless. Stop playing. I'm not a person with strong willpower. Then don't be. I looked up at him. You're not bragging, are you? The next second, the world spun. I, who wasn't exactly light, was scooped up / carried horizontally and thrown onto the bed by Robert. The bed was soft. It didn't hurt at all, but it made me a little dizzy from the rocking. Robert was on top of me, a strange weight, an embarrassing position. He turned off the light. In the darkness, only his gradually descending kisses were exceptionally clear. The buttons I hadn't finished unbuttoning were undone one by him. Robert hadn't drunk much, and his fingers were 100 times more nimble than mine, undoing them in moments. A chill spread over my body, but it was quickly covered by his warmth. A tingling sensation shot up my tailbone. I sank into the soft mattress, like being in an ocean, desperately clinging to Robert's shoulder, searching for the only place to catch my breath. But Robert was a petty guy who held grudges. Even now, he didn't forget to ask me, was I bragging? No. Do you like it? My face was burning, too shy to say like, I could only manage a muffled MHMF. Rom my throat. That night, he coaxed countless likes out of me. Finally, when I was tired and almost asleep, my phone suddenly rang. Robert tucked the covers over my head for me and answered. He didn't say anything. From the phone on speakerphone came David's choked voice. Sarah, I still can't let go of you. Don't hang up, okay? Just listen to me. Let's get back together. I blocked Jessica, and I'll keep my distance from all other girls from now on, I promise. Your pride / ego will be more important than mine. I'll always put you first, okay? There was still no response from my side. David continued, say something to me, please. I haven't heard your voice in a long time. Whatever you don't like about me, I'll change, okay? David babbled on tearfully through the phone on speakerphone. I was half asleep and just found it noisy. So loud. I pulled the covers over my head. Then, Robert's voice came from outside the covers. Finished talking? Want to change? Okay, she watched the video and said you're so small and disgusting. Robert chuckled. Buddy, maybe you should go back and grow some more? The other side fell silent instantly. After a while, David's trembling voice asked, Sarah's with you? He roared, what did you do to her? You dare to use force? I'll sue you, I swear. Robert's tone was casual. That's between me and my girlfriend. No comment. What private matter? What did you do to Sarah? She wouldn't have agreed, you. I was too annoyed by the noise, so I pulled off the covers and snatched the phone. Are you done? What my boyfriend and I do is none of your business. Stop bothering me. My boyfriend is taller and better looking than you, has better character, and delivers more. Why would I go back to you? I couldn't help but curse again. David, can you stop begging / acting pathetic like a dog? I hung up the phone. Some of my sleepiness had also dissipated. I sat on the bed for a while, stunned. / blank. Beside me, Robert kept watching my expression, suppressing his urge to speak, but finally asked, regret it? Regret what? Cursing him just now. I nodded. Snuggled into Robert's arms, my fingers tracing his firm abs, I sighed and asked, do you think what I said just now was an insult to dogs? I was being disrespectful to dogs. Robert chuckled. That's what you're thinking about. Not entirely. I also thought about things I couldn't say. Things that would need to be blurred out word by word if I said them. Robert wasn't human. I didn't say those things out loud. But he still wouldn't let me sleep. Anyway, you're awake. He held me in his arms, his fingers tracing my spine inch by inch. Sarah? He called me that for the first time. His voice was husky. The hidden desire was almost overflowing. I instinctively wanted to escape. Just as Robert pinned me back, his phone suddenly rang. I quickly pushed him. You have a message. Robert sighed, forcing himself to restrain, and handed me the phone. Password is your birthday. I took it. Aren't you afraid I'll look through other things? No. Robert's expression was open and honest. I have no secrets. I unlocked it and opened it. It was the health app/fitness tracker app. I don't usually look through people's chat history, and I was about to close the phone, but I saw a familiar profile picture. The name in the contact was also incredibly familiar. Beth. My older sister. What did you talk about with my older sister? I asked casually. Robert's expression visibly tensed. You can't see this. He made a move to grab it, but I dodged. I opened the chat history. Brief, clear. The most striking thing was a transfer screenshot. 100,000 yuan. So, the first blind date was indeed an accident, but the second one, the so-called pressure from both families to meet again and break up, was just a cover story my older sister agreed to. Robert had ulterior motives from the start for me. I turned off the phone. We were silent for a long time. Robert tentatively came to hold me. Not angry, huh? I had bad intentions, I had ulterior motives from the start, That's not important. I pinched his abs, gritting my teeth. 100,000 yuan. Beth only transferred me 10,000? That greedy middleman/scammer. After saying that, before Robert could react, I pushed him down. Robert was startled, but his body honestly cooperated. What are you doing? Although he was confused, he still held my waist. Shut up. I kissed him without hesitation. I need to get my money's worth for that 90,000. Otherwise, it's too much of a loss.